All right, so we have a lot to talk about today because, frankly, a lot has happened in the past few days. So, first thing that has broke down ceasefire between Israel and Hezbollah. That is wonderful, absolutely wonderful. Thousands of people's lives have been saved. That's awesome. Whoever worked it out, whether it was Netanyahu who finally came to his senses, or it was Trump that called Netanyahu and got him to come to his senses, or it was genuinely Joe Biden and Tony Blinken who negotiated a deal with representatives of Israel and representatives of Hezbollah. Whoever it was, congratulations. That's great. That's something we all can agree on. We need that devastating war to end. Nevertheless, there's still that other devastating war going on in Gaza. More and more civilians are dying every day this war continues, and that war needs to end right now. Israel needs to be held accountable. Benjamin Netanyahu, he's clearly a war criminal. They need to put him behind bars. That war was a bad idea. He had the right to respond to the terrible attack, but he should have followed the example of what the U.S. did after 9/11. After 9/11, the United States, we did not decide to bomb the hell out of Afghanistan. We went into Afghanistan on the ground and by air. We launched a minimal bombing campaign, did not kill, I believe that maybe 5,000 civilians died during our bombing campaign of Afghanistan. At most, 5,000 civilians died in a span of 4 months after 9/11 and our takeover of Afghanistan. Let's see. How many civilians has Netanyahu killed? Let's see. The estimate is at least 80,000 people have died. At least 80,000 people have died, and the number could be higher, and many more people have also starved to death because they're not letting food and medicine and vital supplies and water get in. It's a disaster. They're killing the people, and at this point, you sometimes struggle to see if it's deliberate or not. It is showing signs of genocide. In fact, I believe I was watching Piers Morgan Uncensored, and this guy Norman Finkelstein was on, and he was actually making some interesting points. He said that the former Israeli intelligence director said a long time ago that Israel wants to turn Gaza into a massive concentration camp. And you can see why they consider it a massive concentration camp. Because, for one, Israel controls everything that goes out in and out of Gaza. You cannot leave Gaza. You cannot send stuff into Gaza, and you cannot send stuff out of Gaza. They search everything, and they block almost everything from going in. They, immediately after the war, they were able to completely shut down all the electricity and all the running water in Gaza. So they had control over this. So that's why it goes to show kind of like he also compared, I believe, Hamas to the Warsaw Ghetto fighters because, they're trapped. They can't leave. Many people are starving to death and dying, and they rose up and they fought against Israel. I don't think that's a fair comparison. They are a terrorist group. They've been around for a long time, and they've always wanted to destroy Israel. They suck. We can all agree that. But even if they suck, the Taliban suck too, but the United States did not start murdering hundreds of thousands of Afghani civilians. Israel has murdered hundreds of thousands of Palestinians. It's completely unjustified. We need that war to end immediately. On to the other conflict in Syria. So the Syrian civil war had been on pause for at least 5 years now. Definitely since the pandemic broke out, it kind of mutually agreed that it's better to stop fighting. A new offensive was launched by HTS, a group that used to be linked to Al-Qaeda and ISIS. They are reportedly, this Israel ties into this too. Israeli funded, Israeli intelligence people have acknowledged they do provide weapons and medical assistance to these guys and intelligence assistance to HTS because you know why? They fight the Assad regime, and they fight the Assad regime, they fight Hezbollah, and they fight Iran, and those are things that Israel wants to be eradicated. That those are so they do have some similar interests with Israel, and I bet Israel would enjoy if HTS was able to topple Assad, which I really don't think they do. They were able to take over Aleppo. Remember Aleppo? There was a book called Escape from Aleppo, and worst refugee crisis in history was because of Aleppo. They took over Aleppo again in a matter of hours, it seems. And then it looks like they've also taken over Hama. But I think Assad and Russia and Iran, they ultimately come out in victory over this because the elephant in the room in the Syrian conflict is who the Kurds decide to help. And the Kurds do not like HTS because HTS does not like the Kurds. HTS is affiliated with Al-Qaeda and ISIS. Terrible people. They've killed a lot of Kurds. So this SDF, Syrian Democratic Forces, the main Kurdish organization, very powerful, just as powerful as the Syrian army. I believe they're fighting on the side of the Syrian army for now, and they could play a role in, if they end up capturing Aleppo, that could end up putting them in conflict with the Syrian army. But for now, they're only helping the Syrian army and Russia. The Syrian Democratic Forces get a lot of assistance from the United States. And so that leads me to speculate. If Israel is spending a lot of time and money helping HTS to destroy Assad, is the U.S. still helping the SDF? Is that going to put the United States and Israel at odds with each other? Are we going to see the relationship start to break down? Are we going to see the U.S. stop sending arms to Israel, which would be a miracle, and that would save a lot of lives and really put the United States on the moral high ground of human rights? Yeah, so that's another terrible situation. We'll have to see how that pan out. It's very interesting in Syria. All right, on to what's happening in the United States. And that's Hunter Biden was pardoned by Joe Biden yesterday. And Joe Biden pardoned Hunter. I have no words for you, Joe. You say for months and months, you said it on July 27, 2023 in an interview, I will not pardon Hunter Biden. You said it on June 6th, 2023 in an interview. I will not pardon Hunter Biden. You had Karine Jean-Pierre, your press secretary, say 4 times to the press, you will not pardon Hunter Biden. There's not a chance, you said. And then you just go ahead and you grant him an unconditional pardon for all crimes that he committed since 2014. You know what that can tell people like Trump? Trump will say, oh, I can pardon all my family members. Oh, I can pardon all my friends because Biden pardoned his son. If he's going to take the moral high ground, Joe Biden, that's clearly not taking the moral high ground. He was stupid. He should have stuck to his word. And frankly, Joe Manchin put out an interesting statement about how Biden should now pardon Trump. If he's going to pardon his son, make it fair. And I think Joe Biden will actually go out with a great reputation among the general population of Americans. Not the progressive wing of his party, but they're a small percentage of the population anyway. Yeah. So my message to Biden would be, sure, go ahead and pardon Trump. I pardon my son, I pardon Trump, or maybe pardon a ton of people, whether it's illegal immigrants or people who are widely considered to be wrongly convicted. Do like a mass pardon before you leave. Kind of a last straw, kind of put a cap to really an epic career as a public servant. Had a terrible and not a good presidency, made a lot of bad mistakes, but that would be an interesting end to a great career. So yeah, not cool that Joe pardoned Hunter, but he can make it right through doing various things. So yeah, that's basically my take on what's been happening in the United States and across the world. Just like my message to you, everybody pray for peace in Ukraine and Gaza. Pray for peace agreements. Pray that once Donald Trump takes office, he can potentially end those wars. Yeah, have a great day, everybody. And also, let's see if Donald Trump gets a pardon from Joe Biden. Probably not happening, but who knows? He pardoned his son. All right, everybody, have a great night, and I will see you tomorrow.